Today I'd like to talk about a subject that has been one of the biggest challenges that I have seen lately. That is the one thing that seems to prevent people from really getting the results that they desire in Forex trading. And that is the subject of trading with your emotions. Now, first of all, I'd like to say that emotions are a wonderful thing. They are really what make us complete human beings. Our emotions are really a refined part of our being that serve us and guide us. Emotions are actually some of the more sacred and refined aspects of human beings. They enable us to experience things like joy and exhilaration, excitement, love, compassion. All of these things are wonderful, and the things that we refer to as negative emotions also are positive when we think about experiencing fear, anger, frustration, sorrow. These are also indicators of our being, much like our nervous system provides us with things like pain to let us know when there's something wrong with our body. Well, even negative emotions are just telling us that something's not right in our lives and we should listen to them. That's our emotional guidance system. So don't ever let anyone tell you that being emotional or being an emotional person is inferior to being a purely logical person like Mr. Spock, because it's really not true. People who have refined emotions and are sensitive, those are the people who are more highly developed human beings. So emotions are a wonderful thing. But having said that, I will say that our emotional guidance system is really not what enables us to trade successfully, because when it comes to trading, it is purely a more visual and logical thing. Unless you have some kind of way that you can tell me about, I'm totally open to the possibilities that you can use your emotions to trade successfully. I'm just not aware of that, that method. The method that we have is based on looking at charts. And so when it comes to making a decision to enter a trade or to exit a trade, your emotions should have nothing to do with that. When this trading opportunity first started happening, a lot of people were afraid to get in. Fear prevented them from getting into the trade. A lot of people had an emotional bias toward the long-term uptrend. They were emotionally committed to the long-term uptrend. They love the uptrend and are devoted to it, and so that influenced them to make trading decisions rather than looking at the chart. Now, after the trade started to really move down in a strong manner, then, as is typical in the financial markets, many people would start to get in at the very bottom, which this is really how the financial markets work for the most part, is that people are afraid to get in at the beginning, and after the opportunity has already passed, then they get in when it's too late. And some people got into this trade, or at least part of it, and were so excited by the amount of profit that they got that then they just wanted to get right back in. So they were trying to jump back in out of that emotion of greed or whatever, or excitement or passion, and that was causing them to want to get in, even though the indications on the chart were not telling them to get in. So you can see how easy it is to allow emotions to cloud your decision to make a profitable trading decision. And in the financial markets, people often talk about the concept of fear and greed, and I don't necessarily think that these have to be referred to as negative emotions, because greed could actually be something noble inside of us, a passion for life, the desire to be as successful as possible, the desire to achieve your highest potential. It's a wonderful, noble thing. Passion for life. And fear could also be something quite opposite from fear. It could be actually heroism, being heroic, because what we're trying to do is protect our profit, and that's what being heroic is. In the movie Hero, when the man runs into the burning airplane and starts pulling out people who are unable to get up and walk out, risking his own life, he was considered a hero because he was protecting others who couldn't protect themselves. And so that's the way we are about our profits. We're the hero, and we want to protect our profits, and that's a good and noble thing. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wanting to make as much profit as possible. Also in the movie, I think it was Wall Street, where the famous line where the guy says greed is good. There was actually a lot of wisdom hidden in that movie that I think went right over the heads of many people. But the fact is, greed is good. It's not really greed. It doesn't have to be considered a negative emotion or a sin or a vice. It's a good thing, a passion to have as much as possible. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wanting to protect your profits either, so you don't need to call that fear. But the bottom line is, whether those emotions are good or bad, they really have nothing to do with how we would profitably trade this method. If you have some method of trading profitably using your emotional guidance system, I would certainly be open to that possibility. I'm just not aware of how that's done, and the method that we focus on here is based on looking at the charts. It's totally based on looking at the charts. So no emotion is involved in there. All you do is look at the chart and you just see, is there an entry signal? Is there not an entry signal? If there is, you get in. If there's not, you don't get in. And then once you get in, you see, is there an exit signal? Is there not an exit signal? If there is an exit signal, you get out. If there's not an exit signal, you don't get out. Now that's apparently a lot easier said than done, because many people experience real challenges with doing that because of these emotional things that are going through them, and intellectual things going through their minds, things that they're rationalizing about, all these things that conflict with their ability to simply look at a chart and say yes or no, is there an entry signal? Yes or no, is there an exit signal? And I often mention how easy it is to trade this method, but it's easy for me to say that. But if you're experiencing real challenges with being able to do that, then that is a legitimate subject that we need to further explore. And since I see that so many people do have these challenges, it's a legitimate challenge that we want to get to the bottom of and solve. So this is something we will continue to explore. How can we overcome these emotional challenges that prevent us from making profitable trading decisions? Because whenever someone is not having good results with attempting to trade this method, in almost every case it's because they're choosing not to get in when there's an entry signal, or they're choosing to get in when there's not an entry signal, and or they're choosing to not get out when there's an exit signal, or more commonly, they're choosing to get out when there's not an exit signal. Those are the four things that people do that cause them to not have success in this trading method, and the reason that they do that is often based on a big range of emotions that they're experiencing. They're afraid to get in, they're unsure about getting in. Once they get in, they want to protect their profit, and they immediately get out, and they establish a pattern of limiting their profits. And some people have set up a pattern where they're limiting their profits by setting, for instance, price targets, limits, because they're afraid of losing any profits. They want to always make sure that they get some profit. So set a price target and then not have a stop and allow their losses to run. So they're ensuring that they will lose a lot and win a very small amount. And our trading method is based on the concept of doing the opposite of that, which is we should be winning a lot and losing only a small amount, and winning a large percentage of the time and losing only a small percentage of the time. So these emotions really have no place in making our trading decision. Emotions are wonderful and they serve other purposes, but for making our trading decisions, the way we do it is we look at a chart. And that's all we do. We just look at the chart and we see, is there an entry signal, yes or no? If it's yes, we get in. If it's no, we don't get in. Is there an exit signal, yes or no? If it's yes, we get out. If it's no, we don't get out. Those are the things that people don't do that cause them to not have good results. And the reason that they do that is because of these emotions. So we will continue to explore this subject further, and we want to share in our community any ways that that will enable you to overcome this challenge. I would recommend one of the best ways that I know of is to trade in a relaxed state of mind. Practice any kind of relaxation techniques that you know of. Deep breathing exercises actually are critical. If you don't know of any deep breathing exercises, you should learn some, because they are actually the whole key to becoming a successful person, in my opinion, is learning to be calm. Conscious breathing exercises are actually some of the most critical things to enable a person to be effective in anything in life. So I would recommend practicing yoga, breathing, meditation. Maybe you like to go fishing and that's how you relax. Nothing wrong with that. Whatever it is that you do to help you to relax, you should make a routine of it and do it before you trade. Get into a relaxed state of mind, because when you get into a relaxed state of mind, you'll be able to think clearly and not allow unrelated emotions to cloud your decisions. Because even though emotions are wonderful, the emotions that you're experiencing are really not related to whether or not you should get in. Because whether or not you should get in is really based on something that you see on the chart, not some emotion that you feel. So this is the way to achieve success in trading, is to learn to base your decisions on what you see on the chart, not on the emotions that you feel. Once you can do that, you'll be able to trade successfully over and over. And let's continue to explore this and share ideas about how we can overcome the emotions that prevent us from trading successfully. Thanks for joining us for this free Forex training video series. If you decide you would like to actually learn how to trade the Forex market profitably, visit our website at forextradingseminar.com and find out how many of our students are now getting 2,000 and 3,000 pips per month. Many of them are doubling their accounts in less than 1 month, and some of them have doubled their accounts several times in the last 6 months. Information on how it's possible to do that is available at forextradingseminar.com, and for more information just email info@tradingmastermind.com.